Welcome back to Under Oath. Family sues Google after maps direct father off collapsed bridge.
Late at night, this guy's driving home. It's pouring down rain. The guy's not familiar with the area at all. It's dark. So he doesn't see like that the bridge is suspect. Even though it's overgrown on the sides.
It was sus.
You don't necessarily know that that means the bridge is out. And he died.
Some of the facts, the reason why they're suing Google is because they're claiming that Google was aware that this condition existed and they did not alter the path. They did not take the bridge off their GPS.
Is it their job to know that?
Well, if they're informed.
Who informed them?
It's a good question. But what if they were informed?
Can you ever be really informed?
Yeah,
with
somebody calls up and says, hey, you got this. They send you a letter. It's certified mail. The President Biden on his speech goes, Google, the bridge is bad.
I don't know if you can hang that on, like if we're going to be attorneys, right? It has to be the person who owns the bridge. Who owns the bridge? The city owns the bridge, right? The county, the state.
Yeah.
Somebody other than Google owns the bridge and is responsible for maintaining it and maintaining it safely. And if it's not safe, not letting people get on it. That is the responsibility.
Do I have a responsibility if I know something's dangerous and I lead you there? Let's say it was a person. Let's say my name was, I'm Michael Google. And I'm sitting on the side of the road and they go, you know the directions? Yeah, just go over that bridge right over there and you'll be all right. And the bridge collapses. Is Michael Google wrong for giving that advice?
If he knows, yeah, like you said at the beginning, if he knows that you're not supposed to go on that bridge because it's not working, then yeah,
Michael
absolutely.
Google knew. That's the
So
that's
both
where we're
of them
living.
would be responsible. How do you get onto the bridge though? How does the city not have it completely blocked off?
That's where I think the full responsibility lies. Now, the problem is this. You and I both know if we go into a courtroom and one of the defendants is Chatham County and the other guy is Google, who's writing the check?
Yes, Google's writing the check because Chapman County probably, I mean,
Limited to $250,000.
They can't even afford to fix their bridge. So how much money do
put
they
a
have?
sign up. They don't even have to fix it. How about we just stick some plywood?
Yeah, a barrel.
I mean, I know hurricanes hit them. They have plywood just like we do.
Bridge out. Bridge out.
But is it really fair? Think of it this way. All Google does is get information. They're just getting information. They're not checking the information. It's impossible for them to check every bit of information. So if they lead you down a dead road or you get mugged in a bad neighborhood or something like that, you know, I like the idea when you said they needed actual notification. But even if every time something went wrong, thousands and thousands of information of this road's down today, this road's up, this bridge has been fixed, it's impossible to possibly be that up to date.
Well, what does Google say, right? Google says we're going to send you on the safest way, right? They actually
don't say safest way.
They avoid
the fastest way. Fastest way.
They avoid certain criminal areas in certain cities.
You think criminal areas are? You think like in LA they go, don't go down this road?
Yes, they reroute you
and
around.
What kind of icon do they have for that one?
High crime area.
So it says high crime area.
Yep. Well, it used to.
I have never seen that.
No? All right.
You have high crime on your Google?
I know where I'm going, though, usually. I don't, unless I'm
the
traveling
mean streets
out of
of Orlando.
Yeah.
Don't go down this street.
How familiar was this guy? I mean, he was coming home from his daughter's birthday party, right? How familiar is he with this area?
It's saying that he was missed.
Oh, okay. So our producer's saying not familiar at all. All right.
So he's not familiar, but that's not the point. The point is, I almost agree with you 100% in the idea that whoever owns the bridge, who's ever responsible for the bridge, I can't possibly keep up to date on everything. And even if I'm getting sent emails, I'm not building that into my software. There's no way I can alter my software for every bit of road that might be right or wrong. Oh, there's a pothole now in the middle of Main Street in Kentucky.
Well, it comes down really to whether or not Google acted reasonably. That's what it all boils down to. We know the county's on the hook or the city or state, whoever owns that bridge, right? You agree there?
No.
Okay.
Make
the argument why the city's not responsible.
I disagree with your first premise.
What's that?
That Google has a duty. Google does not have a duty. If you use their product, go ahead and knock yourself out. We're not saying how good or bad it is. I'm not going to be responsible for everyone who decides to follow the directions that an app is going to send you on.
But
you're not even paying for it.
We warned. If I'm representing the city, we warned you, Google. We told you. hundreds of times. What does it take to get you to stop directing people to a bridge that we know isn't working, and we know that you know because we
You
told
left it open.
Yes.
Hey,
we're
guess
partly
what? You know
responsible.
something? We got this bomb right here. Instead of putting a fence on it, we're just going to let you walk over it. We're just telling you shouldn't walk there. It's a minefield.
If I tell Google 300 times there's bombs all along this road, you better damn believe they shouldn't send people down that road.
Why do they wrap a minefield in basically barbed wire so people can't go into it? Because they know it is so inherently
But
dangerous.
you're talking about it, the
city.
liability just on the city.
Yes.
Can't be.
I shouldn't be able to walk there.
Be.
I shouldn't even be able to go there. It should be closed off. And you know
Agreed.
how? So if I drive up there and I can't
Agreed.
go ahead, then we're done.
And when two people combine to create a harm, then they split liability.
What? How much? The city's locked it to probably $250,000.
That's all they're going to get from the
So
city.
everyone knows
Yeah.
when they say sue the city, only in cities like Philadelphia, LA, places like that where there's basically unlimited. And it's because the lawmakers decided, hey, we want our cities to be responsible for hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah, most of the
In
time it's
comparison
sovereign. It's
to-
called sovereign immunity, and there's a cap to how much you can sue. Like in Florida, it's 200 per person or 300 per incident. There's probably something very similar in that state. So when
Depending
you're
on the
suing,
state.
you're not going to get hardly any money from the actual entity that owns the bridge.
In the lawsuit, let's say I go to trial.
Against Google.
I put them both on.
Well, of course.
And they say 250, and what happens is the average person doesn't know. The juror's not going to know the cap is 250, 200.
Right. They're going to assign blame in percentages. So I don't think they hold the driver responsible if there's no warning.
So what stops them from going, okay, 100 million?
What stops who from doing that? The
See,
jury?
this is the problem. Juries are runaway trains now. A jury like this, where they see
the
where
guy
they
died. I mean, what?
how much is it? How much is a life worth?
Probably millions and millions of dollars.
How many
minimum.
millions? 100? A billion?
Well, that's up to each individual jury.
Well, that's the problem.
Yeah, I would argue for probably 10 million for each of the kids.
Why in California can you get 200 million for a life, but you can only get, let's say, $1 million in Florida, a 200 in Florida?
Well, because the residents of those places are very different from one another.
Point is this. We have to have something to lock this down with.
I can't believe that you don't think Google's responsible at all.
No, it's impossible.
Why is it impossible?
Okay, every bar I took said the standard of care has to base on my ability to be able to provide a product out there at a price I could afford it. For example, I could keep
Jeff,
a chainsaw.
if I tell people, please come use my service so that I can tell you how to get to places, please use my service. And all of those people listen to me and they say, okay, we're coming to you. Greg, how do I get from point A to point B? Well, take this route right here. And you're saying I didn't undertake a duty to conduct that advice?
No, I don't. I base
safely
it,
and reasonably?
I base it on the
No,
same.
not at all.
See,
No.
this is the reason why. I consider it a product liability case. You consider it something else.
It's negligent.
I consider this app a product liability. This app is a product. It's not somebody giving you advice. There's not any human being going, follow this. It is a application, which, i.e., I believe is considered a product. So I would have to sue under product liability. And here is something that a lot of our listeners don't know. When I sign up to use an app, a lot of times I agree not to sue. If I use Google services, in fact, one of the biggest thing about Google
Depends
services,
on what the actual release is. A lot of those releases, you do not release the actual provider from their own negligence.
if you look at this thing, because I guarantee
I haven't
it's
seen it.
okay.
You have?
Have I seen the
Have you
actual
seen- have you
400-page
seen the release?
waiver?
Yeah, I know the answer.
No, I've not seen the
you
400.
haven't.
No, I
So
haven't.
you're just guessing.
Okay. Can I guess that they have better lawyers than us?
Well, no one's better than us, Jeff. How could you possibly say that?
Because they have 3,000. I can be better than 20. I'm not better than 3,000. Okay.
Okay, fair. There's really no argument to make that the guy was partially responsible. And so let's compare that, because if Google sent you, because this is a hard case, but if Google sent you, say, off of a pier, right? That's not a hard case at all. You shouldn't be driving your car on a pier. There's no way Google should tell you, all right, drive over here or drive down a one-way street the wrong way, right? Google's less likely to be in trouble in those situations, I think, because Google has to be able to rely on people using their faculties when they're driving. Look around. If you see a one-way street, obviously we gave you some poor directions. Turn around. If you see that you're driving off the end of a pier, stop driving. Help us out here.
Shenanigans. Call it shenanigans on this whole thing because it's unlimited. Unlimited. It's unlimited.
What's unlimited?
Unlimited.
What is?
It would be functionally impossible to track every problem, even if you have a hotline, even if it's being reported. It is impossible, which means that no company would ever take on the responsibility of doing any GPS navigated anything, knowing they have to be responsible for people who down bridges, for people in the potholes, for anything possible. They'd go, no, we can't depend on this because you're also depending on all the nonsense that happens. And it's impossible. And I don't think we should kill a whole industry because somebody refused to put a sign in front of a bridge.